covers it up. Let's go ahead on the cameras. Now, like I stated before, triple camera setup on the iPhone 12 Pro with that LiDAR sensor, 12 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 12 megapixel telephoto lens. The iPhone 8 Plus has that two 12 megapixel lens setup, 12 megapixel wide, and then that 12 megapixel telephoto. Now, in terms of the UIs on both, you can see they're almost identically the same. And honestly, you're really not going to have those many feature differences between these two. I think maybe like the night mode on the iPhone 12 Pro is better or something like that. But the features are almost exactly the same. You can do 4K 60 on the back camera. The front camera, on the other hand, is where the bigger differences are. You can do 4K 60 on the iPhone 12 Pro. With the iPhone 8 Plus, you can only do 1080p. And that was okay back in 2017, but nowadays it's very important to have something higher than that. Now, the iPhone 8 Plus's camera I think is very, very good still for a 2017 phone that costs around $300. There's a lot of capability you have behind this lens. You can zoom in a ton into a photo. You don't have, an ultra wide sensor, which is something I actually prefer, but you still have that, portrait mode. You still have 4K at 60. You still have a lot of those different capabilities. So that's still a pretty big deal in my opinion. Again, not a deal breaker or anything, and it's definitely not as good as the iPhone 12 Pro's camera, but for a day-to-day task, and I'm definitely going to do a full camera comparison between these, I can definitely tell you the iPhone 8 Plus's camera, for the most part, is actually pretty decent. Now, the iPhone 12 Pro, on the other hand, still has a really, really good camera setup. I mean, this thing is, probably one of the best cameras out right now. It's probably behind the Galaxy S20s and the Note 20 Ultras, but this camera is really, really decent for the time being. You have a telephoto lens, ultra-wide sensor, and that LiDAR camera. Now, compared to other phones, I mean, like the Samsung Galaxy S20, you're getting more features there, but between these two, if we're just looking at these two exclusively, the iPhone 12 Pro definitely has a better back camera and a way better front camera. You can do 4K 60 on the front of this camera. The iPhone 8 Plus cannot do that. So definitely when it comes down to the cameras, the iPhone 12 Pro is the better one here. Now, ending it off.